Carlos, news has come out that you're going to be departing the club after 9 years of service here. Just first and foremost, tell us how difficult a decision that was.
Yeah, obviously very difficult. I've been here for 9 years. Did I think I was going to be here for 9 years? Probably not. I originally signed a 3-year contract at the age of 23, and the plan was to go back to the NRL after that. And yeah, obviously things work out differently, and I've spent 9 seasons here. I have no regrets, and yeah, mixed emotions at the moment. I definitely think it's time for probably me and the club to move in different directions. As much as I'd love to stay, I think the time is right.
Not many players come over from the NRL and serve a club for such a long time. How proud are you of the service that you've given Hull FC over the last 9 years?
Yeah, very proud, mate. To spend 9 years at one club, like you said, not many people do that. Especially overseas players. So I'm very proud. My family and myself have grown to love this club, and like I said earlier, it's going to be difficult to leave, but I think the time is right. The club will always hold a special place in my heart, and I've got memories to last me a lifetime.
I think you mentioned there that you came over at the age of 23. What were the challenges coming over to England as a 23-year-old, or embarking on a completely new journey?
Yeah, it was very tough, mate. I was moving across the other side of the world from Australia at that time, and I obviously had my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and we had a 3-month-old baby. So it wasn't an easy decision, and like you said, it was very tough. I need to give credit to my wife and my kids. They've made a huge sacrifice for me to be here at Hull, and without my family, my wife and my kids, the fans and everybody else don't get to see, the player I am, and full credit goes to my wife and kids.
Settling in here was no problem as far as the rugby went, because first 2 seasons won 2 cups and arguably the best Hull FC side we've seen in recent times. What was that like, coming into that environment and having instant success?
Yeah, it was crazy, man, because before I moved over, I didn't even know what the Challenge Cup was. And then to come in my first 2 seasons and go back-to-back Challenge Cup winners, I couldn't ask for a perfect start. But just thinking about it now, it's giving me goosebumps. But it was a special time, and it was a great way to start my Hull FC career.
What was it like to be in that environment? Obviously, last few years, a lot of the players from that squad have now departed the club, and if you like, you're one of the last one out, really, turn the lights out sort of thing. What was it like to have been part of that group? Because a lot of the players who've now left said it was a really special, tight group of players.
Yeah, it was very special, like you said. Not on the field, but also off the field, we were so tight and close. And I think that showed in our performances. But looking back now, as a young bloke back then, I was so lucky to play with the caliber of players that were in the team. The likes of Gareth Ellis, Sika Manu, Mark Monicello, Leon Price. These were players I grew up watching. So then to come over here and play with them, I was so fortunate and grateful that I got to take the field with them.
Some Hull FC fans out there say that you're the most consistent and best NRL signing that has come to the club in recent years. What does that mean to you?
Obviously, when you get recognition from the fans and people outside, it's great. But for me, my main drive is my family. Everything I do is for them. I don't really take too much notice of what comes from the outside. In all respect, but it's good to get that recognition. I work hard every day. People don't see what goes on in the background. So what I do away from the field is, how do I say it? I get the rewards when I do play on the pitch. So
That actually leads nicely onto my next question about sort of your attitude to training and keeping yourself in tip-top shape. Anyone that does know you know that you're always one of the last ones out at the gym. You're always doing your extras.
Yeah.
How important has that been to having a successful career?
Yeah, very important, mate. That's probably something I learned at a young age. with being in NRL systems and seeing what older blokes were doing, and then in my first couple of years here at Hull FC, I learned so much of Mark Minicello and what he did off the field and how he looked after his body in terms of his diet, stretching and recovery. So looking up to older blokes like that and taking note really helped me, looking after myself, away from the pitch.
Let's talk currently. The squad at the moment is probably very much a far cry from how it was when you first came into the club, in a very different position. The club as a whole. There's a lot of talented youth players coming through at the moment though, and you've been playing alongside some of those at the moment in the back line. As you depart the club, what would you say that those youth players have moving forwards into the next few years of their careers here?
Yeah, they've really stood up in the last couple of months, haven't they? But honestly, man, the future's so bright for these young kids coming through. If they keep developing and growing, the club's definitely going to have some success, in the near future, I think. And if you look at our teams in 2016 and 17, we had that good base of, Hull produced players, and the likes of Danny Houghton, Danny Washbrook, Scott Taylor and Kirk Eamon, who really drove, the standards for us and, let us know what it means to the people of Hull to do well as a Hull FC player. So, if you have those group of young kids coming through in this organisation going forward, it's going to be massive for the club, and we'll definitely have some success going forward.
And as somebody who's been an experienced player in the squad for the last couple of years, what has it been like for you to almost chew to those youngsters in their fledgling careers?
It's been quite easy, to be honest. They're all good kids and they're willing to listen. That's what I like about them. They're not scared to ask for help either. I always give time to them. I always tell all the kids, if you need anything, just let me know. I'll help as best as I can. And they have been. They've always asked for help, asked for tips here and there, and they've all got a good attitude and a bright future ahead of them.
I think you touched on it earlier that you and your family have really embraced, the city as a whole in your time here. How much have you enjoyed living in Hull?
Well, I've lasted 9 years, haven't I? So, it's been great, mate. Before we moved over, Hull was probably a destination that people didn't want to come to, or people told us not to move to. But since moving here, everyone's been so welcoming. That includes the fans, the communities that we've lived in, and my kids love it over here. This is home for them. They don't know any different. Like I said earlier, they all support Hull FC. They love Hull FC. So we've embraced it. We've enjoyed it. And credit to everybody that's helped us along the way.
What will the plan be for the family? Would you like to stay in England?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the future holds. Long term, in regards of us staying here permanently or moving back home. I'm definitely going to keep playing next year. So we'll definitely still be here in the near future.
When you leave the club, what do you think that you'll miss the most?
Obviously running out at home in front of our fans. I've always enjoyed that. We've always had a good reception from our crowd, and they always turn up in big numbers. So I'm definitely going to miss running out at home, wearing that black and white shirt. Even my family as well, mate. They come to every home game. They get kitted out in all the FC gear. So I think I'm definitely going to miss the game days.
And just to mention as well, finally, that you've had the honour of, running out of the tunnel as captain of the side on a number of occasions. What has that been like, to captain a side?
Yeah, it's crazy because I never ever probably saw myself as a captain, and to get asked to lead the boys out for that season, it was definitely a special moment for myself and my family. I remember running out for the first time with my two young boys, and that's something I remember for forever. So I'm fortunate and grateful to be amongst the other captains who have captained this club. There's such a strong history of captains in this club, and to be a part of that list, I'm really grateful.
Carlos, thank you, and we wish you all the very best for the future.
Cheers, mate.